What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Big Vern coming to you live from the App Stupid Studios. App like you got some sense and smash the like and subscribe button. We like it when you do that. Also, shout out to us. We have been doing this consistently for almost 2 months and we've almost reached 100 people. So we like it when you grow the channel. Share, like, and subscribe. I mean, it's amazing for all of us who really want more in-depth sports conversations, not debates or anything, just a conversation. Also, if you want to fund the madness directly, you can hit us up at the Cash App, $Vern Dollars. It's still a busy sports cycle. I'm still finding interesting stories to talk about. Today, I'm going to talk about Deion Sanders in prime time and how his coaching staff is actually breaking the bank at Colorado. Great story coming out of Football Scoop. And then TCU, they've started to beef up their coaching staff, getting ready for the good collegiate season in 2024. Horned Frogs, got a good story for you there. And then an opinion out of CBS Sports talking about doing away with the NBA All-Star Game. I don't know about you, but I found it entertaining. I also found it, I think, beyond unimaginable that a team can score 211 points in a game. Astonished and disgusted with the lack of defense. And we'll get into all of those when we come back from a quick 20 from a unofficial sponsor of the show. This is Big Vern at App Stupid. Taco Bell, Live Más. Try the $5 cravings box, the cheesy gorditas, the beef burritos, the Mexican pizzas, the chalupas. I'm sure there's a lot of delightful menu items on there every day. Taco Bell, Live Más. Visit the good folks at your local Taco Bell. Download the app or order online. Taco Bell, Live Más. So we're going to start with CBS Sports. And the caption was written by Sam Quinn. It says here, the NBA All-Star Game, if players aren't willing to take it seriously, why does this game still need to exist? And I don't know. I think I took issue with the article, the way that it was written, and how he built up his opinion. And he writes, the NBA All-Star Game served a crucial purpose when it was conceived. All the way back in 1951, the basketball world was rocked by a point shaving scandal at the collegiate level. The NBA needed to change the narrative and attracted attention to the pro game. They settled on a concept Major League Baseball polarized 2 decades earlier, an All-Star Game. Boston hosted the first one, and it drew an enormous crowd of more than 10,000 fans. The NBA All-Star Game was off to the races. Giving a little bit of history and context and everything, but I just don't understand the point of view that these guys don't take it seriously when basketball is their job. I just never understood that narrative, that they don't take it seriously because basketball is their job, and not everybody in the NBA makes the All-Star team. If it wasn't taken seriously, they can let anybody become an all-star. So the two teams that you see from the East and the West, or the teams or the people who are picking, are the undeniably best in the league. And some people can play in the NBA for multiple years and never be selected to an all-star game. So that in itself kills the narrative that these guys don't take it seriously. Mr. Quinn further writes, the All-Star Game managed to find ways to justify its existence even as the original purpose faded. Yes, you surely heard the belly aching this week about how competitive these games used to be, but their unity ran deeper. Remember Isaiah Thomas' infamous freeze out of Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson's famous return to the floor in 1992. And I hate when people kind of regale these things because you can make the case for anything that you want it to be. I didn't see that as a freeze out of Michael Jordan back when they were playing in Chicago and everything. Because what people fail to tell the general public is that Isaiah Thomas is from Chicago. Isaiah Thomas made it possible for Michael Jordan to move around Chicago. Understand what I'm telling you. If you wanted to take it somewhere other than basketball, it could have got ugly. And Isaiah Thomas diffused that. So the narrative people love to shape is that Isaiah and Mike had this situation and everything. But in reality, Michael Jordan wanted to be where Isaiah Thomas was, and he knew he had to go through him and Larry Bird to get there. And he did. He did. And he went through Magic Johnson to get his titles. But this whole the All-Star game back then was so competitive. No, it wasn't. Hell, Doc Rivers, he was playing in that era that you so fondly regaled. And it wasn't competitive then. Guys played defense for one quarter, which was the fourth quarter. But guys were still throwing lobs to themselves off the backboard and everything. And the crowds, that's what they paid for. They paid to see the biggest names on one stage come to town and show off. They got their money's worth. Quinn also continues, for me, it's an all-star game. And this is Anthony Edwards that he was quoting in the article. Anthony Edwards is a fabulous player out of Minnesota. And Minnesota is right now competing at a very high level in the West. I think they are the number one team in the West, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. That's a freestyle. It's off the top of my head. So for me, it's an all-star game. So I don't think I'll ever look at it as being super competitive. Right. He's not going to look at it as being competitive. And I'll explain why. I'll explain why after this. But Anthony Davis, he also chimed in and he said the hype teams of the Bulls and Pacers for creating the best moments of the night. And what do you know? The ratings, they went up 14% from last year. The younger fans, they love the game, even though the parents are not really in tune with it. And the reason that I love this game like that is because this, in reality, you got to understand, the game is going to shift every 10 to 12 years with newer players coming into the league, newer players being more athletic, bigger, stronger. Then you have the guys who have established themselves in that same 10-year to 12-year period. So you're going to get that good mesh, those people coming in, i.e. Mike and Kobe, i.e. Kobe and Kyrie, Kobe and LeBron, and now you got LeBron and Giannis. I mean, these things are going to happen, okay? So you shouldn't be shocked at what you see. Now, the part that a lot of people won't do is they won't point the finger at themselves, because you have to point the finger at yourself. In sports media, we have tied these guys to what they call perceived value. So you're going to be criticized one way or the other. You're going to be critiqued one way or the other. There's no way around that. The problem with that is that that is tied to your money. That is tied to how you make a living. And if you get hurt in an all-star game, the team has no reason to fulfill their obligation to you. Now they're trying to trade you. Now they're trying to get rid of your money. And that's the biggest incentive. An all-star game for a lot of these guys is a vacation. They don't have to train. They don't have to show up to the organization and look at film. They don't have to go through and run drills. It's 3 or 4 days that they can chill out with their family. and go watch a game. Go watch a dunk contest. Go watch a skills and drills. Go watch a 3-point contest. And so I'm not going to take it seriously, especially when there's so much riding on my future. Not to mention, you have the teams and the general managers, they're fine with it being like this because they don't want their star player hurt. Just because it doesn't fit your narrative. Because you want these people to play hard for what? And then when, like I said, reading that article, it came across as back in my day, we did X, Y, Z. Man, look, stop it. I was around in that era. I was around. You can't pawn that off on nobody. Talking about, oh, back in my day, we did this and we played and then the 3-point line and the peach basket and Kansas and it was no, man, stop it. Because these players are going to be criticized no matter what they do, no matter good, bad, or indifferent. The camera is always on them and they make a move. So why would I risk being injured in an all-star game? And I get it. People are mad that it's not tied to anything. If, for example, I mean, if it was tied to, regardless of record, if the East won and they beat the West, the East is going to host the Eastern Conference the NBA Finals in that city. That's how I would tie it to something. Just give them home court advantage in the NBA Finals. That's it. And vice versa. If the West won, they would have home court advantage in the NBA Finals. It would be out West. But this whole notion, you're just going to play hard for the sake of playing hard, stop it. Because if you were really invested in people, quote unquote, playing for the love of the game and quote unquote playing hard, you would watch D3 and D2 basketball. Because those kids, they play for the love of the game. Those kids aren't big name kids. And they're out there playing systems ball. Nobody's trying to cover them. So basketball is there when you can find it. Don't give me this, I want to see the guys play harder. Okay, we'll go watch Youngstown State. Youngstown State versus New Albany U. And you tell me how that went. Because that's the game. They're going to play hard. They're going to play. And you can do that now because technology has made it more accessible. But like anything else, people want to cry. People want to complain. And that's where we are. And the reason why the All-Star game is still going to remain like that because people still want to see the best versus the best. The NBA is no different. The best versus the best. But if you're asking for what's ruining the game, all we have to do is look in the mirror, as everybody in sports journalism, and say we are ruining that game. Because we have our opinion pieces, we have our hit jobs, we have our smear campaigns, we have our propaganda, and we radicalize fans, good, bad, or indifferent, towards a product. And it's all tied to perceived value. So if I devalue a guy and I can go ahead and have a big, large megaphone, it will affect the way that people look at a guy. And we've covered those stories on this platform. We've covered the Zion Williams saga. He's actually playing good basketball. But now you have unmanly men on live television talking about this man's legs and his thighs, sexualizing this man. And it's just like, wait a minute. That guy's not going to do that. He floated some other stupid things in the article about Team USA versus Team World or whatever. And I was like, wait a minute, that's the Olympics. That's already been done. That's stupid. And he was just like, We should pay them more to play in the All-Star game. They already get paid, first of all, when they make the All-Star game. That's why they want to spend time with their families, especially the guys leading up to the All-Star break where they've been on a 6-game road trip. They've been away from their families. It's time for you to grab the missus, probably 2 or 3 kids, and say, hey, look, you want to go to Indianapolis? I got to practice. After that, we'll walk around. We'll have a nice dinner. Daddy's home. The human part of this, that's what matters. But like I said, I could be wrong. We'll be back. Still going to cover Deion Sanders breaking the bank in Colorado. This is Big Vern.